tonight, right, and about what this team did to, achieve the outcome that we all desired. And so I want them to celebrate that. I want them not to look past tonight. Celebrate tonight. Celebrate this victory that they worked tremendously hard to achieve and obtain. And then I told them they'll have tomorrow off. They can take one day off, and we'll get them back on Sunday. But then we'll start thinking about the Sugar Bowl and the opportunity we have at hand. But you don't get enough time in life and enough time in situations like this not to enjoy it. And I was reminded by that by a couple people I talked to, but also just talking to the team. Enjoy this. Enjoy this. Don't look ahead. Enjoy this, and then we'll move forward. But proud of the way they played. I told Coach Signetti after the game, I think that's a heck of a football team we faced that obviously showed wouldn't quit till the end. Some good teaching opportunities for us. We're going to use that fourth quarter defensively, special teams-wise. We got to learn from some of those situations that happened in that game because we have to be better because of it. And I'm actually kind of glad it did happen, because it's going to be a chance for us to humble ourselves and get back to work and work on ways to improve as we get ready for this next opportunity. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
A quick reminder, the only people allowed to take video during the press conference are the video folks in the back. Our first question will be in the front row on the left, Tyler Horka.
Hey, Coach, just how big is a run like the one that Jeremiyah had as a tone setter kind of right out of the gates?
Huge. Backed up situation. We just threw an interception the drive before, right? And it was 0-0 at that time. I think it was 0-0. Just threw an interception. We get an interception on defense, and that first play to go 98 yards was huge. Just for everybody. Yes, our offense, but the overall confidence of our team to go up 7-0 with that type of touchdown. We know he's not 100%. We're just going to keep getting him healthy, but he showed on that play at whatever percent he is. Once he breaks through that third level, it's hard to catch Jeremiyah Love.
You mentioned the interception, Xavier Watts. Just how good was he tonight and kind of setting the tone for the defense?
Yeah, he was major. I mean, he had made some big-time tackles, tracked the ball carrier well, was close to getting a couple balls out, had the interception. I mean, he's a leader out there. He gets everybody lined up. He communicates. He plays the game you need him to play. Plays the game the way you need him to play. He is a huge part of what we're trying to do and a very important piece.
Front row on your right, John Bryce.
Hey, Marcus, along those similar lines, you've talked often about complementary football, and that first sequence was about as complementary as it gets. Just how do you assess the way that this team has absorbed all the challenges to have the identity that you want from them?
Yeah, you had a lot of good from all three phases tonight, and you've seen that throughout the season. No one phase was perfect, and that's what we strive for is perfection. No one phase was perfect, but what happens was when one phase isn't getting the job done, another phase picks it up. And we'll need that as we continue to move throughout these playoffs. And so, that's what it's going to take to achieve the goals that we aspire to have. It's not going to be an offense, a defense, or just special teams. It's going to be all three phases playing complementary football.
You started this season in that tunnel at Texas A&M, sort of getting the attention off your team and getting it to, just taking the pressure off of them and being really emotional in that moment. And then your team kind of adopted your personality over the course of the season. The way that they played so physically tonight, how much does that reinforce the way that you guys are coaching and preparing them?
Yeah, I believe in playing this game with a physicality that hopefully is unmatched. That's just what I believe in as a head coach, and we demand it. We practice that way. And these guys, at the end of the day, these guys are pleasers. You ask them to do something, they're going to give you everything they got to try to please you as a coach and do what you ask. And so in order to achieve the things we want, you're going to have to play a physical brand of football. And that's our mentality, that's our culture, and that's what they display on that field.
Front row, all the way to your left, Tyler James.
Marcus, you've talked about having confidence in Mitch Jeter for a while now. To see those kicks go through, obviously the one later was blocked, but what did that do for you guys to see him make those field goals tonight?
It was huge. It was especially the one, I think it was 49 yards before half. I mean, that was huge because not only was it an important field goal, but the length of that, right? He's been doing it in practice, but to go out and do it in a game in cold weather, we needed that confidence in him, and he needed that confidence in himself. And so it was really good to see him make some big field goals today. We got to fix the one that was blocked. I watched it on the sideline. It looks a little low. I think that's what ended up, being the issue. But we got to attack that and fix that because that can't happen as we move forward.
And then Jordan Faison made big plays on offense and special teams. What allowed him to impact the game the way he did tonight?
He's a playmaker, man. I often tell you that stats sometimes do not tell you the impact somebody makes on a game. And the wide receiver position is one that is so important to understand that he can grade out 100% and have one catch. And perception is he maybe had one catch, but the reality is he did exactly what he was supposed to do on every single play. Today he was rewarded, obviously, and targeted intentionally in certain situations, and he made some big-time contested catches. He is a weapon for us. We obviously used him on the kickoff return, reverse, and we had a little bit of doubt saying, okay, there might be a guy that can see it. Nope, the guy saw it, but we had a lot of faith that Faison could make a miss, and that's what he ended up doing.
Front row on your right, Pete Sampson.
After struggling defensively at USC, what were the biggest keys for that unit to sort of snap back to form tonight, and how much was Howard Cross a part of it?
Yeah, Howard's a huge piece. I've said this before. I believe you have to be strong up the middle, and to have Howard and Riley in there, really being disruptive up the middle was huge for us. We knew going into the game we were going to have to control the perimeter. They were a perimeter running team with some stretch plays, some screens, and our mindset controlling the perimeter was attacking and having all three levels defeat blocks in the perimeter. And then we wanted to be aggressive. We had an aggressive mindset. We called the game aggressively. They played aggressively. And it was good to see our guys on defense play well today for the majority of the game.
And, I mean, now that this is complete, the first home game of the playoff, like all the extras that went into it, like how did it work from your perspective as a head coach? What was the experience like?
Unbelievable. Probably should have shouted out everybody that had a part in creating that environment. I've never been a part of an environment like that. It was special. The crowd played a factor. The noise played a factor. It was a special thing to be a part of. I didn't really get to take it all in because you're focused on doing your job. But pregame I did. It took a minute to take it in, and then obviously right now just thinking about what we were able to experience. It's something special. It's not many times in life you're the first to do something, right? And as I told the group in there, we were the first to play and win a playoff game in Notre Dame Stadium. That's historic, and so something we'll cherish for the rest of our lives.
Third row on your left, Pete Byrne.
Marcus, this isn't technically a first, but I think 12 wins matches the most wins ever by a Notre Dame football program. I'm curious what that means to you right now.
We wouldn't be in this situation if we didn't have 12 wins. So I'm grateful to be a part of a program and a team that has been able to accomplish this. But, I'm greedy, and my focus is, although I don't want their focus to be on it, my focus is going to be on finding a way to get 13. And that's what matters, right? And that's what's going to be important, is to enjoy this thing but get ready for the next opportunity. But you know what? I'm fortunate to be a part of a special football program, a special group of people from top down, from our president to our chairman of the board to our athletic director, on down to the people in our football program. This is a special place, it's a special program, and I'm fortunate to just be a part of it. I know I'm the head coach. You're going to get some praise, you're going to get criticism when things are down, but I'm a part of something special with a special group of guys.
And this larger playoff now that we're in is new for everybody, but how important do you think momentum is for the team still playing, and how much momentum do you think you have right now?
Yeah, momentum is going to be important, but more importantly, it's going to be elevating, getting better. Like, you're going to have, I don't know how many days, January 1st. Today's December 20th. So 11 days, right? 12 days. So that's crucial because it's not a normal game week. We have to find ways to elevate and improve during that week, right? And I told these guys we got ready for this game, I said, there has to be a consistency into the way we prepare, right? The way we prepare for a game. We know it's a big game, but with that consistency, how do we do it a little bit better, right? Every week, how do we do it a little bit better? And so to get 13, as you mentioned 12, to get 13, we have to be a little bit better. And we're going to have to find a way to prepare in a way that makes this team better.
Last question opportunity for Coach all the way to the right front row, Eric Hansen.
Hey, Coach. When we first talked to you when you became the head coach, you talked about offensive line, defensive line driven program. Can you speak to how that showed up tonight, especially with missing a piece for a big chunk of the game on each side of the line?
Yeah, that's what I'm always going to believe in is O-line, D-line driven program, being able to run the ball on offense and to be able to stop the run on defense with your guys up front. You know, our offensive line had a huge challenge. That was a heck of a rushing defense, one of the best I've seen as I prepared for a game. Some of the unique things they do, some of the players that they have, and our offensive line did a heck of a job of finding a way. And I know they had the big run, but the rest of the yardage was ugly. I mean, you had to crawl and claw and scratch for every yard you got. And they battled, and they battled, and they battled, and they battled. And so really pleased by that group. Sam coming in and filling in, and defensively, the D-line did a heck of a job stopping the run. Riley made some huge plays. Howard obviously made some plays. And so we're going to continue to be an O-line, D-line driven program through recruiting, high school recruiting. And, you know, if we've got to supplement in the portal, we will. But we are going to be an O-line, D-line driven program.
This is a real hard-hitting one. Your wide receiver group came out without their shirts on in the warm-ups. I'm wondering if that was, that was the kind of statement you wanted to make.
They must not have been cold. Because as I told you, there's no such thing as cold, tough guys. And they better not been cold, right? They better not been out there shivering. I'm glad they put some clothes on for the game. It got kind of cold out there at a certain point. But, man, when you're into that game and you're enjoying that moment, you don't really think about the weather. You just think about enjoying this thing. And that's what I'm going to think about the rest of the night. I'm going to enjoy this thing.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Front row on your left, Jack Sobel.
Al, at the start of the game, you have a 3-and-out, -3 yards, then the pick, then out of the gate at the second half, you had 3-and-out, another 3-and-out. How important was it to come out of the gate and start fast in both the beginning of the game and beginning of the second half like that?
Yeah, it was great. I think, obviously, we played complementary football in all three phases there. The offense held the ball and had some drives and scored. We changed the field on special teams, and then obviously we were able to do our part there, which was huge. The Watts interception was great because it just nullified that, and obviously we went down and turned the field there shortly after, so that was great.
How did this game show how important Xavier Watts is to everything you guys do?
Well, he's just a competitor. He just has a great look no matter what the situation is. He just attacked, executed, and finished no matter what. So just really proud of the guys. They just played really well together and really executed at a high level.
Front row on your right, Pete Sampson.
Al, even though you didn't have the Howard-Riley combination for the full game, when you did have them in there, just how impactful was it to have that back, that sort of focus?
Yeah, we needed that. That meant a lot. Obviously, it meant a lot to the run game, and then we were getting off the field on third down, which was terrific. So, there was a long stretch there, where those guys that we were in control. They got some plays, but it felt like the guys had a good grasp of what we were trying to get done and executing at a high level, and it started with those two inside.
It really, USC was kind of an aberration when you're looking at the season performances defensively. So how quickly did you feel okay, we're done with that?
I didn't really.
We are.
Like I said, I didn't really worry about it too much. That was a tall task, to go from Army defense to SC and then face those wide receivers, and I didn't do a good enough job in the transition, and I didn't do a good enough job calling the game for those guys and giving them some different looks, and those guys executed a lot of different looks today, and that helped us.
Front row on your left, Tyler Horka.
We know you're a 60-minute type of guy. Every yard matters. What happened there at the end? How much do you take away from that?
No, we had the game in control the whole game, so I'm not worried about the end of the game. There's things that we can learn from it. Obviously, we got to finish better, and I got to make some calls there. But at that point, I just didn't think continuing to show elaborate pressures in that situation was to our benefit, to be quite honest with you. So, I could have called a better game at the end there for the guys and helped them out.
Marcus was in here talking about controlling the perimeter. How well do you feel like you guys did that tonight? It looked like the team speed getting out there.
Yeah, they did a good job. I mean, just the couple plays, like the tunnel screen. Rod Hurd, his play in the tunnel screen. It was Rod, Gabe, Rubio coming from inside, and then Adon. That was tremendous. The reverse. A lot of the bubbles and things of that nature early in the game. So that was a big part of the game. We needed to do that. Obviously, we didn't get to +2, I don't think, but we did get off the field on third down quite a bit, which helped.
Second row on your right, up the middle, Mike Berardino.
The benefits and maybe the dangers of extra preparation time. Since you guys have been here, every bye week of late has gone your way, the bowl games. How do you keep it simple, but change it enough that the next opponent?
You're saying for moving forward here, or
just the way you guys have.
Yeah, just like again, a lot of the.
Can you get into a rhythm with how to use those?
Sure, I think a lot of the things coming out of the USC game was just a lot of the questions the other day were relative to that. So that's the first thing we do. I'm sure Coach would say the same thing: is just quality control yourself, and can we change this technique a little bit? Can we play the post player here? Can we lean? Like just little things. And I thought our guys executed those changes really well from SC to now. But more importantly, we played fundamentally sound and we played collectively. All three phases, and you can't win at this time of year unless all three phases contribute. So is it perfect? Nope. But we'll get back to work tomorrow and get ready for Georgia.
And how does it make you better as a coordinator to have an OC in Denbrock in the building, and you guys bounce ideas off each other, even though you're
Mike knows how I feel about him. I think he's an incredible asset. I think our whole operation here changed when he walked in the door. Just his experience, his wisdom, the way he runs it. The way he runs it, the way he calls it. So I think all of that, obviously, it makes you better. It makes everybody around you better. And as I said, we're not sitting here right now. Again, I'm sure Mike will talk about the other side and their superlatives, but the superlatives we were facing coming into the game was 44 points a game and 440 yards, and we cut both of those markedly. And we can't do that by ourselves. We changed the field position on the opening kickoff. We get an interception, they go, they get a big run. So it takes the whole operation to win these games, and it's going to take that moving forward.
Front row on your left, Tyler James.
Al, Bryce Young's continued development, how much has that helped to have his presence on the edge, especially in the pass rush?
Yeah, we've been banged up a little bit on the D-line, which is unfortunate. But the silver lining there is it's forced guys into roles, and they've responded. Bryce is no different. He's the next guy in this evolution. I thought he played really well today. Obviously, getting the sack there in the backed up situation led to points. So I think that he's just doing a really good job of just doing what he needs to do every day to get better.
And then as the defensive coordinator, to have a home crowd behind you in a playoff
game,
awesome. What did that mean?
They were just awesome. Like? I mean, you can't say enough. I mean, they were just awesome. You could feel it, the energy, and execution fuels emotion, So if you're, the first third down and the place is going wild and you get off the field, big, huge. The next time you get an interception, then you're off the field again on third down. So, execution fuels emotion, but they were just awesome. I thought the stadium was awesome. What a great environment. Just really, really great environment. Great to be a part of that.
Last question for you, Coach. On the front row in the right, Adam Rittenberg.
Coach, you've talked about Xavier, all his improvement in all the different areas. I'm wondering what's stood out the most, even from last year when he's a national award winner, to what he's doing right now for you late in the season.
Yeah, the three things that I think his post breaks have improved, his man-to-man has improved dramatically, and just his overall, control of the defense, his operation. It's been phenomenal. So there's a bunch of other things, but those are the three that jump out.
And then there's not a lot of new firsts around here, but to be part of this,
it's huge, and I said that last week. When you walk in, around the buildings, you see all these, all these things that are the banners that are hung and all that. And there's so much tradition and the lineage is so strong and so, storied that it's hard to come about something that's the first. And so everybody in that locker room, everybody that's a part of it can say that for the rest of their life, which is a great thing.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Mike, you ran a lot of pistol. You were trying to do some screen stuff. Riley didn't. Maybe I don't know that if Riley Leonard was as decisive running the football as he normally is. Like, what were you trying to do with what you were running and your comments on?
Yeah, I mean, I think coming in, they were a defensive unit, obviously, that had done an incredible job all season stopping the run. Their scheme in some ways, at least from our film study, was predicated off where you put the back in relation to the tight ends and where you move the tight ends and how you shift around and different things. So we were trying to throw them off the scent a little bit by being a little bit more in pistol and not having a real clear answer to what side we were running the ball to or what type of scheme we were going to use. We used pretty multiple schemes out of the pistol as well as out of the shotgun. So I thought it gave us an opportunity to be a little more versatile, maybe take some of their stunning and movement out of the game, which it didn't. That was a miscalculation, obviously, because they continued to do it anyway. But, proud of the kids on offense and proud of finding a way and, making enough and doing enough with, obviously, the support of an unbelievable defensive unit that had our backs all day.
All year you've talked about how explosive Jordan Faison is. Got him a little bit more involved tonight, or at least Riley did. Was that part of the plan?
Definitely. I mean, he's a guy for us offensively that's got to touch the football. And, I called the same play a couple different times, hoping they would get into the coverage that they ended up when we made the explosive pass down the field. And, I was right on some of them and wrong on some of them. And I thought their defensive coordinator did a really nice job of trying to keep me off balance. And they're a talented defense. And as I said, really, really proud of the way our guys hung in there and battled and just believed. And the result was obviously what we were all after.
Front row on your left, Jack Sobel.
Mike, Riley has talked a lot this season about kind of taking what the defense gives him. Like, how did you feel like Indiana was defending the passing game, and how was Riley able to stay patient and keep chipping away until he got the big win at the end?
Yeah, really, with their coverage scheme, they force you to be patient, and I thought we tried to really program in the prep time that we had the idea that we were going to have to use the backs and the tight ends and drop the ball down and take what they're allowing us to have. And then when it does present itself, we got to be able to hit some shots down the field. And fortunately for us, the game really kind of played out that way.
Coach Freeman was talking about kind of getting to a scratch and claw game besides the long one Jeremiyah had on the offensive line and the run game. It feels like it's been a while since you were in a game like that. Like, how did you feel like the run game responded? Well,
I mean, I thought we had our moments, and I thought they had their moments. And, that's indicative of a very well-coached defense and some guys that are veteran in the scheme that they run. And so they're able to be really, really multiple. I thought they won some battles, but thank the good Lord we won a few of ours as well.
Last question opportunity for you, Coach. Front row on your right, John Bryce.
Hey, Mike, one of those battles that you won was that early one with Jeremiyah, and the line really opened some big holes right there, especially I think Anthony Knapp kicked his guy out. Just how important was it to send that kind of physical message early on?
I mean, you're backed up on your, 1.5 yard line, and, you call something that you hope is protected on the edges and the guys understand and do a nice job of executing. And here comes number 4. Anthony Knapp did an unbelievable job. I thought the tight ends did a nice job of wiping out the front side of it. We did a good job of building the wall on the backside, which is something we spent a lot of time working on over the course of the last 2 weeks. And if you give this guy an inch, he's going to take a mile, and God bless him for doing so.
Yeah, that was my follow-up is at this point, how do you explain or describe what Jeremiyah Love does week in and week out?
Yeah, I mean, he is the engine that kind of sparks this thing to go in a real positive direction every week. He seems to find a way to make an explosive play, hurdle somebody, run for 98 yards. What do you want? It's kind of dealer's choice, and I'm honored to have him around.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, Jeremiah. You've done a lot of national media spotlights since that USC game. They interviewed you before the game on College Game Day. But what do you think this game, doing this, having your performance on a national stage, really says about Jeremiyah Love?
I think it says a lot. I came into this game battling a few things. I know I probably sound pretty terrible. But I came off of a little injury. I'm sick. And, being able to come into this game and, do what I got to do for this team, it was special. I want to do anything for my brothers to help this team succeed.
Obviously, you're battling something, but what were you really fighting toward the end of that long touchdown run?
I was just out of breath. I was gassed.
All the way in the back on the right, in the black hat from Berg Sports.
Right here, Jeremiah. Talk about the first playoff game in Notre Dame Stadium. What was it like running through the tunnel that for the first time?
It was a great experience. I don't think that I'll be able to match any other experience with that. Being able to do that with people that I train with day in and day out, it was great. And it was really special, to see all the fans cheering for us, just rooting for us and, just helping us, play to our best abilities.
And my follow-up, the chemistry with the running back room, no matter who gets the ball, what it's like to see those guys, no matter who goes in, put some points on the board there.
It's great. We got a lot of dogs in the room. Call ourselves the Stallions. We got me, JD, Kedron, Aeneas, Devin, all great backs. All got different types of roles. Everybody executes when their name is called, and we got a great room of backs.
Last question for you, up the middle on the left, Sean Stiers.
Hey, Jeremiah, you talked about being out of breath kind of at the end of that run. It looked like maybe for a sliver of a second one of those guys might have a chance. Did you kind of feel him there? Did you see him on the video board?
I was looking up on the video board. He wasn't going to catch me. I slowed down. I knew I was going to score, but, yeah, I did see it.
We saw you out there at practice Monday. You had that brace on. Did you have to wear that tonight?
No, I decided not to wear it. It was my decision, and just felt like it helped me play more free.
Jeremiah, the defense made big plays tonight. Can you talk about your perspective of a challenge tonight in Indiana?
Yeah. They had, coming into the season, they had a good run game, and, they were able to throw the ball around, so they had good, talented receivers. So, just being prepared all week, just practicing, the balanced approach that they were going to come out. And I think we did a good job of practice all week, and it helped us today.
And, being one of the captains, having the first home playoff game at Notre Dame, what was it like to have the fans as a factor tonight for the defense?
Yeah, the fans were great tonight. They're really loud. I think the towels was a good addition, pumping up the crowd. Every defensive drive was really fun. So the crowd played a good part in tonight's win.
Front row on your left, Jack Sobel.
Kind of along those lines, how important was it to start fast, both at the start of the game and the start of the second half, and kind of get the crowd into it and set the tone for the rest of the night?
Yeah, it's important just to start, like you said, starting fast. Just sets the tone for the rest of the game. It gives, defense momentum and the offense momentum. So just starting fast is a big factor.
Can you take us through the interception? How important was it to come up with that on the heels of an interception of your own?
Yeah, just cover one. I'm just over top, just reading the quarterback. Just ended up being there. Just cover one, yep.
Front row on your right, Adam Rittenberg.
Xavier, a lot of guys that have a season like you did last year would kind of put it on cruise control. What's motivated you to get even better in all elements of your game this year?
Yeah, I just think with me, everyone knows my story. I bounce back and forth between receiver and DB, and I just feel like I have so much more room to grow, just continue to improve. So just coming into the season, it's like I just really wanted to improve in all aspects of my game. It's just, I just feel like I have a lot more room to grow. So I was just excited to continue growing.
What's your comfort level, even in a game like this, given your entire journey to be able to play here for a final time?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just regular football. I mean, obviously, it's got the playoff tag with it, but it's just a regular football game to me. I go out there with the utmost confidence in myself and my teammates that we're going to go out there and do our jobs. And then, like I said, this is regular football to me.
Xavier, thank you.
Back your final game here at Notre Dame Stadium. Big win. What are the emotions right now?
Yeah, I mean, when we were coming up the tunnel into the staircase, I kind of turned around, took one last look of what that scene is like, and I made sure Riley Mills got that, and Riley Leonard got that view too. And when we're singing the alma mater at the end, just understanding how much people love this university and what this university has done for me over a quarter of my life. It was pretty special to be able to be in an environment like that and walk out of here satisfied and happy and ready to keep playing.
I mean, what does it mean to get that first ever home playoff win for a university like Notre Dame?
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at the state of the program right now, and it's the first of hopefully a lot more to come. This program's just elevating. I think that's evident in the buy-in in the university and that the facilities, the recruiting, the coaching staff, and so it's just a lot of excitement and to kind of be part of that first in program history is a big deal.
Sorry, I lost track of where I was there. Pete Byrne on the left.
Jack, you guys are one of a handful of teams now that gets to move on. How much confidence do you guys take into the next round?
Yeah, I mean, all season it feels like every game's been one life, one game, one life. Just going in, making sure you're doing your process, you're going through everything, you're preparing the right way, and it's not going to change, right? Like the last 2 weeks we've been preparing for Indiana, but also knowing that we have to elevate as a program ourselves. We're competing, we're out there going good on good. We're going against the offense, making sure that's not Indiana's true scheme, but we're still getting good reps in and just trying to get better. And so I don't think that changes just because the opponent changes or you're one step farther in the playoffs. It's just that mentality that what's important now. It's the moment, right? It's the moment you're in. And so that's kind of the mentality we're going to have going forward.
Do you believe in momentum, and if so, do you think you guys have it right now?
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, when you walk onto that field and there's not even a snap, snap hasn't even taken place yet and the crowd's going crazy, you're able to capture that momentum right off the bat. And so that was, really awesome environment to be in. Hopefully that can be like the standard here at Notre Dame for forever now. But that was truly an incredible environment to be, get a play in front of. So that was awesome.
Up the middle in the back row, Austin Huff.
Yeah, the two-play sequence there of Xavier's interception and then Jeremiyah 98 yards. Like, how much does that just maybe help everyone take a deep breath and settle in after what felt like a chaotic kind of first couple minutes of the game?
I don't think it was necessarily chaotic at all. I think if you look around the sideline, no one was, concerned or anything. Everybody just knew, hey, we got to do our job, right? And yeah, I don't think it was too chaotic at all. But certainly big plays were made, and that, the momentum really shifts, and it is huge when you can get an interception in your red zone and then, take one to the crib like J Love did. And so certainly that was a huge turning point in the game and something I don't think we looked back on.
And you won 3 state titles at Pioneer. Is this a 4th?
2 state titles.
Oh, 2, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. But, to be able to play Purdue earlier in the year and get a win against them, then Indiana, as an Indiana guy, like that's a big deal. To feel like you own the state, that's pretty cool. So, no, certainly an important win for me, for sure.
Jack, thank you.
Awesome.
That throw that you made to Jordan Faison, the long one down the middle, gets you guys down to the 1. Where does that kind of rank among all the passes that you've thrown this season?
It would have been up there if he could have got in. But he didn't, so yeah. I was kidding. That was fun. Our QBGA was like, bro, you need to step up in the pocket next time. You get these high edge rushers, and then kind of I did it, and this guy got open for me. But I was itching for it to come open because we called that play earlier, and they spun to 2, but that time it was quarters, so we got to take advantage of it.
And then a couple plays later, the feeling that you have when you kind of walk into the end zone, and I think everyone in the stadium knows at that point that's kind of it right there. Just that moment that you had with your teammates, what was that like?
That was special. it's kind of hard for me sometimes. My head's always spinning all week. It's hard for me to like take a second and like take it all in. But that was kind of the first time where like I was able to look out into the crowd and really embrace this moment because it really is special. And my mind's just always spinning. I'm always so stressed out all the time that it was very important for me to take it all in because that was a special moment.
Right next to him, Kyle Kelly.
Hey, Riley, you're obviously Jeremiyah Love's biggest advocate. I know you talked about him. If he had your touchdowns, possibly in the Heisman Trophy conversation. So what does tonight say about what does his performance, say about tonight?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I got the best view in the house. Like, every time I hand him the ball, like, I'm just watching, like, what's he finna do now? And he just continues to impress me. And it's like the little things, right? It's that, second or third down where he's stiff-arming guys and getting first downs for us. It's these little plays that might be 5-yard gains, but for anybody else would be a 5-yard loss possibly. I mean, he's just a freak athlete. And like I say, like if we didn't have a rushing quarterback, I mean, how many more touchdowns would this guy have? And he'd be in conversations, nationwide. And, obviously, I think people are starting to see how special he is.
What was going through your mind as you saw him run down the sideline on that 98-yard touchdowns run?
Yeah, I mean, once he creases the gap, it's like, all right, head over to the sideline, he's gone. And seeing it time and time again. But once he gets to that, secondary, there's no catching him.
Front row on your right, Adam Rittenberg.
Yeah, Riley, Coach Freeman was talking about the need to enjoy it. I'm wondering, is that challenging amid a playoff run that you guys kind of just became an answer to a trivia question first time to do this, or is that an easy thing to do even amid what the bigger goal that you're chasing?
It's a good question. I think this is special for us, and a lot of us, me being a guy who, my freshman year I went 3-9 and didn't have, was just begging to make a bowl game. To be playing in the Sugar Bowl right now, I got to kind of go full circle now, and it's really cool. But at the same time, it's another football game, and we're just staying alive, and we're just trying to play as many games as we can because we love the game, we love preparing for it, and we love representing this university.
Our last question for you will be up the middle, third row, Sean Stiers.
Hey, Riley. A lot of the talk coming into this game was like how you would do as a passer, not just a runner of the football. So why do you think that how did you get ready for the moment, I guess, tonight? How were you ready for the moment?
Yeah, I think, this was one of my better weeks passing in practice. And then you get out there and the first throw was a pick. So I was like, bro, are you serious? Like Coach always says, practice like you play, and then this happens. But, I had to bounce back, kind of like I've been doing all year and kind of like how we've been doing all year. And, my confidence is just continuing to grow. And the better these guys play around me, the more confidence I have in getting them the ball. So, they're showing out every week, and we're continuing to develop in the passing game.
When you're backed up like that, on the Love touchdown run, you're backed up, your own end zone and the whole thing. Did it feel like that just set the tone really for the rest of the night?
Absolutely. Like, everybody wanted to talk about how great their rushing defense was, and obviously our rushing offense is pretty good. And to be able to get that early, kind of set a statement like, all right, we're not backing down. We're gonna run the rock and kind of punch you in the mouth up front.
Riley, thank you.
Thank you all. Jesus bless.
Hey, Jordan. Mike Denbrock's been talking about wanting to get you involved for a long time. What happened during the prep for this game? Was it your body that's finally feeling well, your mind, or everything's just kind of syncing up for you?
Yeah, I think it was just, same old thing, week in, week out. I mean, we've had plays prepped, and then this week was, I had a lot of opportunities to make plays, and God bless that I did, and just took it and ran with it.
And then I got to ask you, whose idea it was to make the fashion statement?
My bad, y'all, my hair.
Okay, this one with your hat off. Whose idea was it to make the fashion statement with the no shirts among the wide receivers?
We were talking about it. We weren't really going to go through with it because one of our practices during the week, it was a little too cold. The hands were a little too cold. And then someone in the locker room was like, oh, yeah, don't go out with shirts on. Like, yo, it's a little too cold out there forever now. But nah, everyone did it, and then we're like, everyone, if one person do it, we all gotta do it. So then we went out there.
Up the middle aisle to the left, Austin Huff.
Yeah, you had the drop early, but then like, how do you come back from that? I guess because it didn't seem to phase you. It looked like the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, you can't let things like that affect you. I mean, the ball's gonna keep coming to you. You gotta be able to make plays, and then it kind of, catapults you into making more plays during the game.
And then this is the second straight postseason game that you have really played well in Sun Bowl MVP last year. Like, what is it about these moments and these stages that allows you to kind of thrive, under these pressure?
Yeah, I mean, the whole team loves playing in the biggest stages. So, when everyone's watching, people are performing. And then, when the opportunity comes my way again, you just got to make the plays. And I was able to do tonight, so.
Right in front of you, Tyler Horka.
Jordan, you've obviously been a part of a national championship winning team at Notre Dame. Few games to go to get there, obviously, with you guys right now. But do you feel some of those same locker room vibes? Is it comparable to, the togetherness that group had and maybe that you have with this group as well?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's funny. Coach asked me to talk to the team, Coach Landau, after one of our lifts, kind of give the spiel of what it was like going into the national championship for lacrosse. And I was just telling the guys, like, we were literally in the same role. We lost to Georgetown, a team we're supposed to beat. We lost to NIU, a team we're supposed to beat, and then had to win out from there to make playoffs. And kind of that same journey is like, this is a real chance. And if you don't think we have a chance, I mean, it's time to lock in, time to go.
That catch that you had, the long one from Riley, obviously he joked about it, but just how good of a route, a throw, a catch kind of was that, and all the catches that you've had at Notre Dame?
I mean, yeah, we worked on it all week, multiple weeks, and I look, run the route. As we practice, I look back and I see Riley kind of moving and then jumping and throwing the ball, and it's still freaking dime. So I'm like, all right, I got to go make this play for him. I was able to catch the ball. Wasn't able to score, of course. More worried about getting the ball and then scoring, and then,
Jordan, thank you.